What if you couldn't go to the store anymore? Maybe you're already feeling it. Rising prices, shortages, fewer options. Welcome to Edible America. Today, we head to Texas, the Lone Star State. Big sky, brutal summers, deep resilience. From pine forest to hill country, dry plains to swampy bayous, Texas is wild and full of food, if you know where to look. Let's walk through 10 wild edible plants you can find in Texas. Forget the grill for a second. Mesquite isn't just for smoking meat. For centuries, indigenous people like the Comanche and Apache ground mesquite seed pods into flour, a naturally sweet, protein-rich powder that they then used to make a dense, earthy bread or ate it as porridge. Mesquite trees are tough. They survive in poor soil, under punishing heat, and still drop their long tan seed pods in late summer. The seed pods have a sweet, almost cinnamon vanilla flavor. And yes, you can use the wood to smoke meats. It's a Texas pastime. As a kid growing up in the South, dewberries were a favorite. It was a treat finding these growing in an abandoned lot or the edge of the woods. Low-growing, early-fruiting, stickery cousins of the blackberry. They bloom white in March, bear fruit by May, and disappear by June. Sweet, tart, and gone in a flash. The berries are juicy and dark, perfect for pies, jams, or just eating straight off the vine. My favorite is in a cobbler. Dewberries fed both settlers and enslaved people across the South, not to mention tons of kids who found these tasty snacks. The only major tree nut native to North America, pecans grow wild along Texas rivers. Their roots go deep. Indigenous groups like the Caddo relied on them for fat, protein, and trade. A single mature pecan tree can drop hundreds of nuts in the fall, food that stores for months. And pecans are more than just pie fillers. They're dense, nutrient-rich survival food, offering a powerful mix of calories, healthy fats, and micronutrients. Some call it pigweed, others call it a weed and pull it up without thinking. But lamb's quarters is one of the best wild greens you can eat. The leaves are high in calcium, iron, and protein. They taste like spinach but earthier, a little nuttier with a hint of minerality like beets or chard straight from the soil. Saute them in a little oil and garlic and you've got a side dish better than anything in a bag. This plant follows us. It grows in gardens, alleyways, disturbed soil, old farms. It's not flashy, but it shows up year after year. Learn to identify it now, eat well for years. In South Texas, it's called nopal. In Mexican-American kitchens, it's breakfast. The young pads of prickly pear cactus are sliced, despined, and cooked with eggs, chilies, or beans. The fruit, called tuna in Spanish, comes later. Sweet, red, and full of seeds. Juice it, ferment it, make jam, or blend it with tequila for a desert margarita. You'll find prickly pear across South and Central Texas, especially in dry, rocky areas, open fields, and roadsides. It thrives where other crops fail. Hot, poor soil is its comfort zone. Nutritionally, nopal pads are high in fiber, vitamin C, calcium, and antioxidants, and low in calories. The fruit offers vitamin C, magnesium, and natural sugars, hydrating and energizing in the desert heat. It's the state plant of Texas for a reason. It feeds, it heals, and it survives where almost nothing else can. Looks like clover, tastes like lemon. Wood sorrel grows everywhere from the Panhandle to East Texas. It pops up after rain, under shade, near trees, bright green leaves with citrus tang that wakes you up. You can chew it on the trail, toss it in a salad, or steep it into tea. Wood sorrel is rich in vitamin C, and its tart, lemony flavor comes from oxalic acid, the same compound in spinach and rhubarb. In small amounts, it can aid digestion, cool inflammation, and even help with minor fevers. Traditionally, it was used to soothe the stomach and cleanse the blood. It's not an all-day grazer. Too much oxalic acid over time can interfere with calcium absorption. But as a bright, cooling medicinal green, it's a welcome burst of wild flavor in the Texas heat. You'll smell them before you see them. A musky, sweet, sour scent in the late summer air. Mustang grapes hang heavy from fences and trees, dark as midnight and packed with flavor. but bite too soon and you'll regret it. They're mouth-puckering raw. The trick is cooking. Early Texans made jelly, syrup, and even homemade wine. A boil or a ferment softens the bite and brings out the dark sugar underneath. Purslane is a succulent and is also one of the most nutritious plants on earth. Rich in omega-3s, vitamin E, and antioxidants, it grows low to the ground in hot, dry places, sidewalks, gardens, roadside ditches. The leaves are slightly sour, crunchy, and cooling, perfect raw or lightly cooked. In Mexico, it's called verdolaga, and often sautéed with tomatoes and eggs. YouTube notifications. Yeah, not so great. If you actually want updates, recipes, and wild food tips, head over to my Substack. It's free, it's real, and it's where the good stuff lives. Want to help the revolution grow? Toss a few coins my way on coffee. Links below. Long before coffee arrived, people in the southeast had Yaupon. This native holly is the only known plant in North America with caffeine. Indigenous groups brewed the leaves into a tea used in ceremonies for focus in daily life. Yaupon grows wild in East Texas, shrubby, glossy-leaved, with small red berries, which are not edible. Dry the leaves, roast them, brew them. It's a clean, energizing tea that rivals matcha, with deep roots in Texas soil. Sometimes it's called pigweed, but don't let the name fool you. The plant has history. Amaranth was sacred to the Aztecs. In Texas, it grows wild, tall, red stem with clusters of tiny seeds that feed the birds and can feed you too. The leaves are edible when young, earthy and rich, like beet greens. The seeds, if you collect enough, can be ground into flour or cooked in porridge. Texas is a land of grit, fire, and quiet generosity. The food doesn't always look how we expect, but it's there, hidden in plain sight. We don't need permission to feed ourselves. We never did. Throughout most of human history, our survival didn't come from grocery chains or global shipments. It came from knowing the land beneath our feet. The shift away from that knowledge is recent and dangerous. We were taught to forget, now it's time to remember. Because real food, the kind that grows without permission, that waits patiently in the heat, that nourishes without fanfare, is still out there. And it's not just edible, it's essential. If this helped you, subscribe. Share your favorite Texas wild edible in the comments. What do you forage? Any recipes? Until next time, keep learning and keep your roots deep.